You're listening to the Live the Dream Media Network, Arizona's premier live podcast studio and online radio.
Thank you for listening to Live the Dream Media.
Does your ordinary radio feel a little limited? If you're looking for a new way to listen, it's time for a fresh start. Introducing the Live the Dream Media app, your premier destination and a new level up for digital radio. Over the last 2 years, we've found new ways to ensure your digital radio experience is the best it can possibly be. From live podcasts that spark new perspectives to a 24/7 soundtrack of live music, and even our built-in merch store. We've built a platform that is convenient, high quality, and simple to navigate. But we're only just getting started. Catch all of our shows weekly and join the Live the Dream Media family today and help us change the airwaves forever. Download it for free on the App Store or Play Store today. Live the dream. The dream starts now.
Your favorite radio just got bigger, bolder, and better connected. Live the Dream Media is revolutionizing how you stay tuned in. With our explosive growth in online radio and our brand new mobile app, your entertainment goes wherever you do. Stream your favorite shows, discover new hits, and connect with audiences across the digital landscape, all at your fingertips. Advertisers don't miss out. Join our expanding digital network and reach engaged listeners across platforms. Download the Live the Dream Media app today and experience radio reimagined.
Looking for a radio station that actually wakes you up, guys? Well, every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m., Christopher D. Simone brings you Wake Up Live, the morning show that sets the tone for your whole day. Then stay tuned for the Marana and Oro Valley Experience, Southwest Flavor with Ron Arenas, The Bob Elliott Show, and so much more. Live the Dream Media is online radio packed with music, live podcasts, and shows you can only hear right here. Download the app on the App Store or Google Play. Live the Dream Media. The dream starts now.
Hey everybody, it's Chris.
Hey, it's David Samorano.
Hey guys, it's Clint Peak over here.
Hi, I'm Blair Lametti Mathias.
And I'm Summer Smeaton.
Hey, I'm Ron Arenas.
And I'm Will Pena.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Curry.
And I'm Mike Bader.
Hi there, I'm Bruce Ash.
Hi, Ed Wilkinson here.
Hi, this is Bob Elliott.
We are Live the Dream Media. Watch and listen to all of our shows Monday through Friday, only on the Live the Dream Media Network.
Hey, you found us on your feed. Are you wondering what Live the Dream Media does? I'm going to explain it to you. Let's go. First and foremost, Live the Dream Media is a premier digital advertising and marketing agency, but that's not all we do. We have also become one of the largest live streaming podcast platforms in the region with our own online radio station and more on the way. Here's the coolest part. Right now, I'm standing in Studio B, where we are getting ready to put together an awesome state-of-the-art studio to continue the growth of this platform. One of the coolest things about Live the Dream Media is we take pride in being flexible. We enjoy the ability to make changes on the fly. If Live the Dream Media is a company you feel interested in working with and want to enjoy the flexibility and all we have to offer with our new podcasting network and our digital advertising abilities, reach out to us at contact@ltdmedia.net. Visit our website, livethedreammedia.com, or check us out on social media.
There's always something worth listening to on the Live the Dream Media Network. Catch Truth and Tell with Blair Lametti and Summer Smeaton on Mondays. Join Ron Arenas for Southwest Flavor every Tuesday and Thursday. Get honest on sobriety, spirituality, and sales with Mike Curry on Tuesdays. And don't miss the Clint Peak Show, airing at various times throughout the week. Plus music all day long. Live the Dream Media. Download the app on the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Hi, this is Sean McCluskey, co-owner and designated broker for Rincon Ventures. If you're a rental owner by choice or by accident and you're looking to hire or change property management companies, consider Rincon Ventures. We employ an aggressive web-based advertising strategy to market your rental. We thoroughly screen prospective tenants and conduct routine property inspections. Our online system gives tenants the ability to pay rent and file maintenance requests instantly over the web. Our owners can use the same system to instantly check on their properties. Call Rincon Ventures at 881-2258 or visit us on the web at rvprop.com.
Hey, good morning. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Must be moved. Marana Oro Valley Experience.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I'm here with my co-host and partner in crime, David Samorano.
Good to be back.
We have a special guest this morning. Our good friend, Councilman John Officer, is in the room. Whoop, whoop. How you doing?
Hey, thanhes for inviting me back. I thought I did such a bad time last time.
Yeah.
You'd never invite me back. But
have a little
I'm
more
glad.
confidence, John.
Come on. He's too humble.
Yeah.
Too humble, John.
When you see yourself on the screen talking, it makes a difference.
Yeah. Happy belated
why I
Father's
don't
Day. I spent a little time with you yesterday.
Yes. Happy belated Father's Day.
Yeah.
To all the dads out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
Let's jump right in it. We're writing, 2 days till the early ballots go out. 4 weeks tomorrow, if my math is correct, the election takes place. July 21st. A lot on the line, John.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are, just stepping up and saying what Marana's about. And people want to change it and do what they've just noticed in the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. We've been working on for the last, for me, 16 years or better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And stuff's just coming to fruition. It had been worked on for a long time.
Yeah.
And the people in Marana, that's what they're looking forward to.
Yeah. It's easy to just take shots when you haven't been in the game, huh? It's like the Monday morning quarterback scenario, right? Hey, these are all the things that need to change. We don't like how this is going. And I always tell folks, hey, nothing's perfect. There isn't. You have to learn, right? And every once in a while, to learn, you got to make a couple mistakes. And I think that there's a huge amount of respect for grace in those situations, right? And, we're sitting here today, and I'm glad you came. It's really good to talk to you because it's just been this weird experience, this election cycle. It goes back to about December, January is where, we really started watching the council meetings and things that were going on. And then when you saw the PAC from Worker Power get involved and really just disrupt and lie to people in this town, shameful. I don't know how, if you're a candidate coming in and you're using that as your game-changing factor, I don't know how people can respect that kind of matter, right? Going and knocking on doors, lying about existential stuff, it's kind of concerning. And I think that, I want to talk about that today and talk about how you and your campaign and the other folks that you're running with are fighting against that. What are you doing to counter what happened in those months of the referendum?
Yeah, for me, it's been, somebody came in and said, hey, we don't like what's going on. And they accused us of behind the door dealings and all kinds of things that were accusations that they made. But in the long run, we have been, like I said earlier, we've been working on these things for years. Mm-hmm. And where were these people? And my question to anybody out there, for those that are running against us right now, where have you been the last year? The last 6 months is all I've seen and heard of you. Mm-hmm. Where have you been prior to that? What have you done or brought into this community? Mm-hmm. How have you helped us progress in what we've been doing?
Right.
How do you even know what's going on? Mm-hmm. They've come in with 2 topics that they're pushing and don't want. Mm-hmm. They have no idea the other things that are going on in the town. And I laugh at when I see some of their posts that people send me of, look what we're doing out here. They finally found that place. Where have they been for the last 30 years?
Yeah.
I've been involved with that place. I know that place. And just one thing that I'd like to throw out, and I just do things behind, just stay back and watch what's going on. But I wanted to make a little survey, and I wanted to contact everybody that lived within a mile of where the data centers are being, the annexation and everything, the change, not annexation, but the changing of the code and everything for there. And so I wanted to call and contact everybody within a mile of there. It's not very hard for me to do because I had all of the ones within a mile on my phone. I've either worked with them, side by side with them, helped them in the community, doing things in the community. I said, well, okay, let's stretch that out to 2 miles. Mm-hmm. Well, I got all but 15 in the 2 mile range. Mm-hmm. And that every one of those 15, I've visited. I've walked up to their door, walked up to them, talked to them personally. 2 of them I knew they were going to be against it because they just like being who they are. Mm-hmm. They'd be against no matter anything that goes on, but that's who they are. Mm-hmm. But within 2 miles, I was able to pull my phone up and contact those people. That's how long and involved I have been in this community and in watching Marana grow and Marana prosper in what we've been doing.
Yeah. Some feedback I've heard over the last couple days, I would say especially last couple days, has been how people in the town really like that you and some of the others have been just very positive campaigning, right? Not jumping into all the kinds of negative stuff, things like they've been doing, right? They've constantly just said that you guys are incompetent or that you're getting Porsches handed to you. I saw, is that your old beat up Toyota out there?
That's my oldest one.
Is that what you got? So I use that as an example, right? They keep running on those same things. And I even sat in a forum recently, and I'm like, I got to just see this, and I got to see it in person. I got to see it. And it was interesting that a lot of people were at this event, but the two candidates that were there with the current mayor, really agreed on a lot of the stuff he was saying. But then in turn, they would, I guess you would say, kindly insult him. They were kind in this one. They were very professional, put on a really good show because they were dealing with a lot of developers and stuff that were in the room. Right. But
you mentioned that D word, David?
Yeah. They were there in front of developers. So if you guys want to hear about it more, you can ask all the candidates that are involved there. But it really sparked my attention because they would say they agreed on things, but then they would say some not nice things about you guys, that you guys basically have been running the town the wrong way. And the fact that you don't have debt is concerning. It means that you don't run the town the right way. And I went, hold on a second. So the taxpayers here in this area should be paying interest rates on bonds and other stuff through taxes, and that would certify a good ran town. I said, well, that doesn't make sense to me. And it was just because, oh, well, they want you to build the infrastructure first before anything's there. Well, who foots that bill?
And then, I've been around too. And this time around, I reached out to, and this is something I didn't do my first 2 runnings of getting out. First one, I financed my own campaign. And I told my wife, well, we can't do that anymore because I'm using up too much of your retirement. And so the next time around, I asked around, people that I knew personally and knew them for years. But this time around, Marana is a business-friendly community. Marana is businesses is what keeps Marana moving. So I reached out to every business person that I know in Marana or have dealt with in Marana on. I 2 of them I've worked with, helping them get a project going that they've been working on. Other than that, we don't hear about those projects, the things that are happening until, it's coming to planning and zoning. You know what's going on out there. You trust the town staff and what they're doing with that. They present it to us, and we like that presentation. Sorry about that. I thought that was...
That's one of them yes votes calling in there, John, supporting you. Let me jump in here real quick. I've been in business for over 32 years in Arizona. Marana is we just made Marana our business home. It's just by far the easiest, the most friendly, the most welcoming. It's not perfect, but it's the most welcoming, business-friendly community, certainly within this part of the state. You can't do business, no offense, my hometown or where I live, Oro Valley. We need to be better there. Tucson, Pima County is it's almost impossible. Marana is just welcoming. When you show up with your check to start a business, they take it immediately. They start working towards helping you get open.
Yeah, and then what I've talked with planning and the licensing people, and when they come in, I said, when somebody comes in saying they want something, say, we're here to help you first.
You know what the other communities
bring
do?
That to you. Bring that to them. We want to help you. These are some things that you're going to have to change because this is what we do here.
Right.
Yeah.
And we will help you make that change. That's what Marana offers.
You know
That's what I encourage them to do.
You know what the other communities do? Because they've said it to me. You can't do that.
Yeah. Instead of you can't.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that from Marana. I've heard it's going to be difficult or we're going to have to make these but I've never heard you can't do that come out of the mouth of any employee of the town of Marana.
I have conversations with people that want to do a business in Marana, and I says, okay, that's what you want to do, but do you know what the rules are where you're going? Have you learned what the rules are? Well, no, I'm going to go tell. You don't go tell. I'm going to come tell you what your rules are in your house. I'm going to come over to your house tomorrow night, have dinner with you. I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. No, that's not right. I'm going to come to your house for the dinner. You're going to, do dinner the way you do it. I'm not going to complain about it because I'm in your place.
Yeah.
So when you come to Marana, it's a business-friendly community, but we want to help you with your business. We've been doing this longer than you have most of the time because you guys just started. You just started. You're just wanting to be here. But, bigger businesses coming in, that's a different story. We work with them too. These are our guidelines. You guys, I know you guys build this way, but this is what we require here. How can we make that work together? Come back next week and let's keep working on this. Let's keep working on it. Here's what we can, and then, okay, we got to go present this to somebody else. Show me how you're going to change that, how you're going to do that. We'll show you how we could maybe change that. But we're just talking to you. We've got to go ask others. And we're here to help you.
I know that from personal experience. I've been doing business in the town of Marana now for 21 years. And I want to talk about, I'm validating what you just said is 100% accurate. I want to touch on something that happened last week. So Wednesday, you guys, when I say you guys, I mean the mayor, yourself, Terry Murphy, Herb Kai, and Jackie Craig were in a forum at the Highlands on Wednesday night. The room was packed. There were people from both supporting you and a few people that were probably not supporting you based on their questions. I happened, just by happenstance, to be at the Highlands Grill the next night. I eat there a lot. Having dinner with a young lady and her fiance. And you were there. And the opposition, for the lack of a better term, was holding a forum. And they talk about transparency and they talk about, everything to be out in the open. You were not allowed access to that room.
I mean, that spoke volumes to me and those that I've talked to since then about what they're about, because they talk the transparency, they talk behind door, everything's going on behind closed doors and everything else. The night before, somebody, and I understand, I've learned a whole lot during this campaign season, that somebody can have a voice and really be ranting and raving about whatever they're ranting and raving about. Mm-hmm. And they got a following, and that just eggs them on. That just gets them going hyper and higher on what they're talking about. But they have no control of those people that they're leading astray. Because, like I said, the night before, there was a whole row of people, and they invited us as council people that were sitting up there talking to them, answering all of their questions. Well, come tomorrow night, and you guys can find out. Come tomorrow night and you'll see what they're about. I said, okay, that was my invite. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't.
You weren't party crashing.
I wasn't party crashing.
So they didn't
I
let
showed
you in?
up, and when I showed up to the door, the gal that runs the concession part of the Heritage there, she said they'd ask it. No, they saw that council members were here. I was the only one I knew was there. Had a couple of guys with me that live up in that area that wanted to go in too. And I went to go in first, and they asked me not to go in. And I said, well, they invited us last night. And she said, well, they just said they don't want any council members in here. So when I walked back out, I just waved to my two buddies, and we walked on out of there. And I saw you. You were coming in with
Amaya and Trevor, Tammy and I were there. We were going to dinner. I mean, I had that plan long before I was aware there was a meeting there. And I saw the way they treated you, and I left there feeling the same way you did. I'm like, well, this is just, to me, the difference between Wednesday night, which was, hey, come on in, bring whatever concerns you have, any questions. And there were a few people asked questions that were definitely not, they were dissenters, for the lack of a better word. And you, when you were not even allowed in the room, that was a kind of a weird feeling for me. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, because I knew you'd been invited, number one, and number two, they're talking about, we're going to do this and be transparent and open, and we want everybody involved, and they're controlling who comes through the door.
But that, like I said, that spoke volumes. The people that I've talked to since then, and they brought it up, and I don't know where they're getting their information from. That they say, hey, we heard that you couldn't. You didn't hear it from me. This is the first time I've talked about it with anybody. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure the two buddies that I went with, they probably said some stuff to their friends, because they like getting out there and doing that kind of thing. But they wanted to learn just like I did. What are these guys really about? Because people ask me, well, what are they about? What are they about? I says, all I know is they're against data centers, and they're against a detention center that I volunteered at for the last 25 years. That has been out there, and I have volunteered that on a regular basis for 25 years.
I just want to let the candidates know that there were people in the room that were sharing what was being said. Just so you know, the good folks, you think you've got a tight lid on your people.
That's out there no matter what. But
John, it's real easy to get people against something. It's a lot more difficult to get somebody for something. That's pretty simple. I want to echo what you just said. I don't know what they're for.
That's what I can't even. I can kindly say I don't know.
Well, they put out a statement. I have it, so we're going to run through it in the second half of the show. I have it all. Pretty interesting stuff. A lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes, and for the people that have watched Marana grow and have been here in Marana, they see that happening, and they're asking me, John, what do you think? I said, I can't say what I think about them, because I don't think about them, because they haven't been here. They haven't been a presence to, okay, when we go over and do this over in that area, we're going to have to get with so-and-so because they got friends over here to do this and this, and we can work with them to do that. I can't say that about them.
Going forward, everybody involved in the council and community, I guess you would say community leaders, people that have a lot of invested time in the community who've grown up here. I think the core of the town is starting to change, right? You have a lot of folks that have moved here from other places. And would you agree that going forward, there needs to be a really good messaging and conversation with folks about what the town's doing and what direction they're going in? Because think about how easy it was for people to pull a referendum that weren't from here, right? You had people pull a referendum on something happening in the town that you are a council member for. And now we're going through this whole court process. Everybody's kind of watching and wondering what's going to happen, right? How do you avoid this situation in the future?
Yeah, I don't know that there's an avoidance of it, but the transparency that they accuse us of having is not there. The untransparency part of it, they didn't show up. They weren't there. They weren't involved enough in the town to know that there were things going on. And, I've heard some of them have had health problems and have been home with, had to spend a whole lot of time at home. Well, you spend a whole lot of time at home, you spend a whole lot of time on social media, you spend a whole lot of time just looking at stuff that you're not out and about.
Well, they claim they knocked 7,000 doors, John.
Is it they or is it that including the pack? That big group may have knocked 7,000 doors, but I will guarantee you those that are running against us right now did not knock 700 doors. That's just because I've seen how things are done around here and how people accept you in and how you find out when they're there. And and that's what the respect that our council has and I have. I know which neighborhoods have a no soliciting. You don't solicit in those neighborhoods. You just don't do. I mean, that's kind of
risque, huh?
But I'm sorry. I use common sense. I use officeology. The real world stuff.
Yeah.
You don't go there. But they had no bounds. They went wherever they wanted, whenever they wanted, and said you were wrong for not letting them be there. So the people in Marana saw that. The people in Marana saw that and understand what's going on.
Right.
They've got their following of whatever they've got, wherever they say it. I mean, you guys know me. How many followers do I have? I have no idea. I'm not onto that. My daughter is. She tells me, and I say, I even forgot that, and she's told me. And it's not. How many people do I actually get out in contact? I mean, this time around in my spraying business, this has been great for my business because people see my truck.
Oh, they're going to get pissed off about that, John.
They've seen my truck go to that house for years, and now they're coming out and they're saying, "Hey, John, what's going on?" And can you spray my yard too while you're here? I'm getting more yards to spray while I'm here to do one, but I'm spraying more, and then having the conversation with the neighbors of the people I've been taking care of for years. And they're saying, what's going on? And that's why I really wanted to go to that meeting because I'm getting back out to getting there before the monsoon. Well, with the monsoons right now.
Yeah.
But my conversations that I have in the neighborhoods has been raised exponentially from what I did before. I mean, I'd go to the place where I was going and want to get to the next one. Now, I'll talk to you. Yeah, I'll talk to you. I've been using my phone. I'm sorry, I won't be there. I'll be there an hour later. Going to be an hour later by the end of the day. Days are getting longer.
Let's talk about Marana and its success right now for a few minutes. We've got a few minutes left. Marana constantly shows up. Just recently, it was number 4 of all the communities in Arizona to live in. Right? When you factor all things in. Number 4, and I've said this 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, Marana is not the success it is by accident.
These are things
Good
that are coming to
leadership over the
fruition.
last 50 years have created this, right? This ongoing growth. Because when I moved here 25 years ago, we were at, I don't know, 20 some thousand people. We're at 65,000, give or take, right now. So that's a 2.5 times increase in 2 decades, 2.5 decades, this century.
And you know, the thing that I've noticed here too is, you know, the comments here lately have been how the desert has been their desert has been destroyed and taken over. And I was, they weren't around long enough to see where their house was before it was built there. And now, I didn't know these are new developers that we have living in this area that own that land and want to do something else with it, or have it slated for something else. Like the one that's going on right now, Cascada. That has been on the books for. I remember talking parks in that one. I was back in Parks and Rec Commission in early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, and what kind of parks were they going to have in there? Where are they going to place the parks? And then those will move around. We just came up with an amount of parks that's going to be in there. You know, but those things, everything in Marana has already been laid out. It will be developed. It will be, because it belongs to developers. It belongs to businesses. It belongs to people that own that land, and they've owned and paid taxes, and they've paid for that land here in Marana. And now they're finally coming around and building the subdivisions or building the industry or whatever they want to put in that area.
Yeah. Well, you talk about something, it's called ownership of land and private property. There has been a very obvious attack on people's private property rights and being able to do what they want to with what they own. It's really interesting that people that have no skin in the game or ownership of that property or they have nothing to do with it are somehow claiming that they're experts and they know what's best for that piece of land, right? And it's really, really traveling on social media. And I think the data center situation has kind of, I guess, powered it more, because it's given people this confidence that they can go in and say, hey, somebody that owns private property doesn't have a decision making like we do, because we know what's best, right? I think there's a very obvious attack on private property rights. And I think it's something that people need to start talking about more, because I think it's a lack of education thing, right? You have all these young kids getting out of college that have been told that the world owes them everything. Right, you're owed this. You're entitled to this. Right, there's no denying that academia is putting this kind of content out, this kind of information out. Right, you could talk to any school leader here in Southern Arizona, and they'll say, "Yeah, that's probably been said in a class." We have people coming out of the universities as interns who go, "Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's kind of how it's presented in there." Right? How do you counter and educate folks that are always fighting these battles against private property rights?
The one thing that I've been doing, and some of the ones that they come and present to the council, and you know, some council will say something to them there, but I will afterwards. If you want to talk, I will talk to you afterwards. And the first part of my conversation is afterwards. I appreciate you coming here talking about this. Can I change your mind? And their attitude, what they say next, will tell you whether it's. They say, "Well, no. Why would I want to do?" But you want me to change mine? I've never seen or heard of before in this community, and you want to come change my mind about what this community has been doing. And you don't want me to change your mind? You won't even talk about it? And they say, well, that's not what we're here for. Okay, so you want to be heard, but you don't want to hear. Yeah. And, you know, some of them you can have that conversation with, but then what I've seen here lately is they raised so much, they used their so-called expertise, but I can't figure how somebody can be an expert in so many things, you know. But their expertise has riled up other people that have no control of what they're saying. They're just saying what they're hearing, and they're going wild about it. They're doing stuff that I know the person that said it didn't want happening, but they're not trying to stop it either. They're not trying to stop that from happening. They want to just keep it rolling forward. And hey, I have no control over it.
Yeah. Hey, can I tell you what to do with that old Toyota out there?
I'd love to. How do I get it to when I pull it, I don't have to put it in?
Yeah, but can I just take it from you and give it to somebody else?
No.
Why not?
Dang it, I got a title for it. It's mine.
You got a signed document that says you own it. It's interesting, right? The baseline education of that stuff. It's comedic almost. But people are all riled up on it.
But when, like I said, they have too much time to spend at home and see so many different things.
Concerning thing I heard last week, you say that. They say this is now a full-time job. Your counters. This is a job. It's a job. You hear what I'm saying? They see it as a job now. Right?
The more you put into anything, the more you get out of it.
Yeah.
And they're learning that. The more they're trying to put into it, the more they think they're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
But it's a long, hard. It's the years of doing the volunteer work and stepping up and helping your neighbor, who is helping a neighbor of a neighbor that they heard needed something done. So they knew who to get a hold of to get it done.
The compound effect. Who knew?
You know.
It's generational. It's decades in the
We're
process.
going through a tough time right now. People, they think that they know everything. I was flabbergasted. I just went over to a buddy's house, and he said, yeah, he was doing some work on his deal. And he said, and a landscaper came by and was doing his landscaping. He loves the landscaper, does a great job. But he was telling him what he was doing on his truck. And oh, man, we work on those deals all the time. We do this, we do that, we do that. And, man, that really got my buddy's, he got his attention. And he says, well, would you have time to come help me? And the guy said, well, yeah. I mean, I can come help you. So he called his boss and said, hey, you don't mind if so-and-so comes and helps me? He's doing landscape, but he wants to help me work on my truck. And he wants to work on it. That's what he does on the side. He loves that. He showed up there, and he sat down, and he looked at it, and he said, give me all the information on your truck. And he said, well, let me Google this, and then we'll YouTube it. And my buddy, he's a little bit older than me, and he said, what do you mean you're going to YouTube? Oh, you can learn everything on YouTube. So you don't know that I need to take this radiator out and do these hoses? I don't know where that stuff's at, but YouTube will show me and tell me.
It's true.
So, and his deal, he is an expert YouTuber. He says he can do, he has done stuff for, and I give him credit. Yes, at least he's trying to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the confidence that he had to come in there and just say that. And he says, sorry, but I could have done that. And my kids have been doing that and then telling me over the phone how to do it.
Yeah.
But in person, I'm changing what was originally here to a stronger engine, a stronger, radiator system on it. And he was going to YouTube it. And no, sorry, I'm not going to go down that route.
Hey, John. Thanks for being here. You get the last word. You get the last word before we take a commercial break.
Why should people vote for you?
Let's keep Marana growing like Marana's growing. Growth pays for growth. And they got to understand that. It's not as a punishment. It is growth pays for growth. That's how Marana has grown the way it is now. We haven't taxed the people that live here for some other area that needs to be developed for somebody else who's going to come in, wham, put that development in and be gone. Growth pays for growth. And those in Marana, the strong people in Marana, the people that have been here a long time are going to step up and show up at the polls.
Beautiful.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Hey, thanks, guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick around. Mayor Jon Post will be in the hot seat here in about 3 minutes. Thanks, guys.
For over 36 years, John Officer has lived, worked, and served right here in Marana. As an Arizona native and your town councilman, John brings a lifetime of local experience to the big decisions shaping our future. From coaching Eagle Scouts to his decades of work in water maintenance, John is the boots on the ground leader we need. He listens to our residents and stands firmly behind our Marana police and fire departments to keep our community safe. John Officer is dedicated to protecting our resources and preserving the independent soul of our town. Vote John Officer for Marana Town Council.
Hey everybody, it's Chris.
Hey, it's David Samorano.
Hey guys, it's Clint Peak over here.
Hi, I'm Blair Lametti Matthias.
And I'm Summer Smeaton.
Hey, I'm Ron Arenas.
And I'm Will Pena.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Curry.
And I'm Mike Bader.
Hi there, I'm Bruce Ash.
Hi, Ed Wilkinson here.
Hi, this is Bob Elliott.
We are Live the Dream Media. Watch and listen to all of our shows Monday through Friday, only on the Live the Dream Media Network.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
My name is Terry Murphy, and I am running for Marana Town Council. I have lived in Marana for 31 years. I love our community, and I would like to see more ballparks, an equestrian center. I would love to see kids have an opportunity to fish and boat with their families. I think growth is extremely important, and I think that with proper infrastructure and proper layout and proper design, that we can create a community that everybody wants to live in. I am asking for your vote, Terry Murphy, for Marana Town Council.
Hi, I'm Jackie Craig. I'm running as a write-in candidate for the Town of Marana Town Council. The way that these three candidates worked with a PAC out of California, Worker Power, and they derailed the downtown development project to develop downtown Marana into a real downtown. We can't have people who have such a misunderstanding of what Marana needs winning the council race. Fill in the little circle, write my name, Jackie Craig, for the Town of Marana Town Council.
Our families deserve safe streets.
When you call 88 Crime, you stay anonymous, but your tip could protect someone's child, someone's home, maybe even your own.
One anonymous tip could stop a crime, and you could get rewarded with cash.
88 Crime keeps our community safe and your identity secret.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community.
Call 88 Crime or visit 88crime.org because safety starts with you.
From the fields of wheat and cotton to the heart of our community, Marana was built on hard work and family values. Jon Post has farmed this land for years, built businesses, and served this community for decades. As mayor, Jon will fight for sustainable growth that respects our roots, keep neighborhoods safe, and make sure Marana remains the best place in Arizona to raise a family. Jon Post, farmer, father, and neighbor.
And we are back with another episode of Move, the Marana Oro Valley Experience. David riding along, co-hosting this bad boy with me.
Howdy.
Going to say it again. Mayor Jon Post. Good
Hey,
Father's
good morning,
Day.
guys. How you guys doing?
Good Father's Day. Your kids,
They took me to dinner.
Good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was great.
You got a beautiful family.
Thank you
You
very
know what?
much.
We're all blessed.
Yes,
in
we
that
are.
respect.
Yeah.
John Officer was just here. We've got incredible families. We're so blessed.
Yeah, I'm really very fortunate. I have good family.
It's kind of the most important title on
It's
isn't it?
at,
Dad,
at this
granddad.
point, it's the only thing.
Yeah, that really.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
I
only
agree.
reason to do it,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You know?
Exactly, 100%.
So yeah, it was great. I got some birthday presents and some Father's Day presents, and so it was great.
Yeah,
It was
early
fun.
birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
You turn 49, right?
49.
49,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. 5 times.
5 times. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hey, can you agree with something before we get into?
No, wait a minute. That's so unfair.
Hey, I've been preaching this for now close to 20 years. When I hit 50, that was the cool. I always felt like 50 was old, and it may be. I'm not arguing that. But it was like the coolest thing that had ever Because once you get to 50, it's like, what can you say or do to me?
So when I turned 50, you know what my goal was when I turned 50? I wanted a 500-pound deadlift.
Okay.
That was I was going to do that. And I got to 455. COVID showed up, and
yeah,
you know,
Hey,
now I'm
nice.
50 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
And I'm not, now I'm at 300 and no, what am I at? 365, 375. But, I also weigh 150 pounds, so.
Still
You
impressive.
weigh 150?
Yeah.
That's
152.
152.
So now I'm lighter, more agile.
You running now?
I run every day.
Good.
I run
That's
every
so
day.
important. Hey, so heads up, 50. I'm going to give you one more little tidbit. 60 is even better than 50.
All
and
right.
I'm betting 70 is better than 60. That's what I'm betting.
That's the goal, right?
So happy
the
early
goal.
birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, John.
You bet.
A lot on the line, man.
Yeah, this election is crazy. It's really, I've never seen anything like it, And
you've ran a few campaigns.
I
was thinking that this morning. This is probably your
my
fifth.
first campaign that I ran was a little bit, there was some turmoil there. In fact, Bruce Ash got involved, and he was sending out things. It kind of got a little bit crazy. And then my last campaign was so, but nothing like this one, So this is, I want to say this is my fifth campaign.
Yeah, I think it has to be based on
Yeah,
how long
and they're
you've served.
elections are just terrible. People say things and do things, and now with social media, it's really changed the landscape of elections. People. We say keyboard warriors, but they're just hidden behind the screen. And now they can do anonymous, right? So now they're getting on these groups, using anonymous and then just absolutely lying. And people don't know me, but they sure act like they do, by pretending to know things that they just really
just
pulled
make
out of
stuff
thin
up
air.
and-
Make it up, throw it out there.
Yeah, and no one's checking that. If
No.
it sounds right
No.
and you're on that side, let's just run. That sounds great. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's crazy. It's
Go ahead, Dave.
I was to say, have you ever had the New York Times do an article and a video on Marana before?
And mention you by name?
Yeah,
about
and then roll me under the bus like that,
Has that happened before?
That's
That was the
never
first?
happened before, not till recently.
That's strange, ain't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
strange.
how'd that happen?
I think that is data centers are just the far left. I think that's their war cry.
It's not just the far left anymore. It's the far
No,
right
because-
as well.
because-
But the far left are more.
because of the inaccuracies of what they're talking about with data centers. Because
Because the headline's selling right now, John.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What they don't understand, and you explained it so clearly last Wednesday night about the closed loop and all that. No one wants to hear that. But that's
They
the
just
reality.
add to it.
That's the reality of where we're
it's
at.
not a closed loop. They have to dump that water, and when they dump that water, they just throw it out on the ground, and that's not what they do. That's not what happens.
I saw a video of Rex Scott going off recently.
Really?
Did you see it?
I didn't see that video.
Yeah, he was countering the behavior of how folks were treating the project, and we know what project we're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, the people that are just not even affiliated with the area, understand the project, are just going around and weaponizing everything and just spreading misinformation. Like it was pretty interesting to see. It was on social media.
Wow.
He was
From Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's great. Really. That's great.
Well,
Thanks for stepping up, Rex.
I think people are starting to see the studies that are coming out, especially the recent one with OpenAI, explaining how overseas interference was going on within their platforms to push content and different things like that. We have screenshots of stuff that we have found that was validated to not be here, but is in like local groups and stuff that's being put in, and it's really interesting.
It is interesting, and they've made it far more complicated than than it truly is. I mean, you know, just the things that they're adding into that. Oh, there's big basements underneath there, and they're hiding things, and I mean, just ridiculous stuff.
Have you ever? I don't know if a lot of people have dug into the soil in Arizona in this area. It's really.
I have tried.
You know,
not doing it again.
Yeah.
I'll be borrowing your earth moving equipment if I ever need to dig a hole again. Hey, you know what? I'm going to say this, and I think you guys will both agree with me. If you don't, then that. But part of this messaging is the lack of data centers themselves stepping up and doing some of the messaging of their own. I think they're doing a better job of it because now they've been made aware of it. But a lot of times, data centers just ignored the educational part of doing what they needed to do in advance, because they need to explain their own cause. And in this case, I'm going to make this personal. They don't need you necessarily explaining it. They need to better educate the communities they're coming into. And oh, by the way, while you're doing that, how about writing some checks to food banks and parks and things like that to facilitate this?
Well, I think you're right, because I think what they did is they shrouded themselves in secrecy. You know, all those NDAs that they threw out there. And, you know, I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of those, you know, was, but they did do that. In fact, I refused to sign one. I said, no, we're not doing that in Marana. We're not going to have an NDA. And so we were willing, you know, all of that was public info. And so we weren't going to do one, but they have now realized that was a horrible mistake to be shrouded in secrecy.
You know why they were doing that?
Why?
I got a take on that. The industry is so competitive. $700 billion just in the last 12 months.
Well,
they're competitive with each other. It's not that they want to keep the community in the dark per se. They want to keep their competition.
Well, I'm guessing that they're all after the same customer.
They are.
It's a low hanging fruit, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they've got to do it. They have to do a better job and not leave it up to the politicians to absorb those hits. They need to do a better job.
Well,
explaining their purpose.
I don't see the state backing down. I mean, they changed the tax incentive, which I think is fantastic. That's great for Marana. You know, they changed that tax incentive, which I think they needed to do. If Arizona is such a great place to build a data center, then why are we giving tax incentives
100%.
to them?
Agreed.
And so, you know, I'm really happy that got changed in the last legislature, in the last budget.
Because David and I, as small business operators, we'd like to have that same.
Oh yeah.
We'd love to have that same benefit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think
so. Hey, state, the media companies the small media companies could use your help.
You know, so where we were calculating our tax benefits on things that, you know, they didn't have to pay tax on, like what goes on inside the building where the big money is. Now we can, now that's changed. And so that's great.
Yeah.
You know, I think they really needed to do that. You know, none of the others, I don't know if, well, I'm sure there are other states that are giving incentives, but, you know, I bet they all start changing.
Well, they'll have to, John, because the game. Hey, in the beginning, you see why it happened, whether you agree with it or not. You see why, because it's the fear of missing out. When these things started coming online, what was it, 10 years ago?
So that first 15? One in Chandler is, I want to say, built in 2013.
Okay, so a dozen years or so.
Yeah.
And I remember having conversations with Ed Honey at that time. I'm like, Ed, that's a bad business right then, because they weren't closed loop. They were using a lot of water at that time. And I was like, no. Well, I'm the guy that has evolved over the last 5 years, because I first off did the research on my own. I didn't read a headline. And I looked at what they were doing from verifiable sources and went, well, the game, I always use the example of VCRs. Remember the first VCR you bought was the size of a Buick and it cost you $800. And then now here we are. We don't even use them anymore. But the last ones that you were able to buy 15 or 20 years ago were $85, and they were 4 heads.
Well, now it's even worse, because I got a whole bin full of CDs that I'll DVDs that I'll give you because I don't know what to do with them.
Everybody's still holding on to them.
Well, they became obsolete.
Yeah.
Why,
Isn't that crazy?
Why do you hold on to them at this point? It's like, holy cow. Oh,
But that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, things just evolved so quickly. I was in the computer business back when it first started, and it just was changing so fast. Phones changing so fast you couldn't even keep up with them. Well, data centers have done the same thing. Out of necessity, they just kept getting quicker and more efficient. And now these things, based on what I'm studying, are 96% more efficient than whatever was there before, like in this case, crops. So we talk about water and converting acreage to houses is way more effective on conserving water.
Well, yeah, and
now data centers are even more effective than that.
You know, I just don't. I think that Marana has to start to go in a different direction than just being a, bedroom community of Tucson. And, although we've tried for many, many years to bring, industries to Marana, this is truly the first one that has showed up, and we didn't have to entice it. We said, hey, this is what you're going to do. This is what it's going to cost you. And they said, okay. I mean, that's pretty rare. I mean, normally I've taken a lot of meetings over the years, and the first thing what are you going to do for us? Well, what do you mean? Well, if we bring our business to Marana, what are you going to give us? Well, nothing.
An opportunity.
Yeah, a great place to build your business. Well, no, we can go to Texas, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and they're willing to do this, and we can't do that, and so we needed something to jumpstart job growth in Marana, and this is it, and whether you like it or not, the town council, made the determination that if we put these guidelines in place, that this was going to be a safe industry for our town. And I truly believe that.
I do too.
And that's not to say that we're still not looking into things. I mean, we are still making sure every time somebody comes up in front of the town council and gives us some information, we're making sure we look into that so that we can continue to keep these guidelines in place for these data centers.
And you know what, John? It's been that way from the beginning in Marana. I know quite a bit of the history. I've been blessed to know a lot of people like yourself and Ed and different people that have been here long before this actually became a town. You were born before Marana became a town, correct?
Right, yeah.
So it incorporated after in your lifetime.
1977.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
It's almost 50 years. And so we didn't get here. I said it with John a while ago. I've said it 1,000 times. Marana is not here by accident. It didn't just accidentally pop up 20 years ago and all this growth taking place.
No, and it's really interesting to look at the people that are very upset about the growth. None of those people were here when Marana incorporated.
Right.
So they showed up later, and it's almost, what if those original people had said, no growth? Nope.
We're good.
We're happy
cool.
with what we have. Yeah. We're happy with the number of people
then
that
they wouldn't live here, would they?
There was like 1,500 people that lived in the town of Marana at the time of incorporation. So let's say those 1,500 people said, hey, nope, not having it. No growth. No Dove Mountain, no Continental Ranch. Because Marana incorporated before Continental Ranch.
Yeah.
None of that.
I've been here since '89. You know the growth that I've seen in the last 37 or so years, 4 decades. It's in like Cotero. When I'm over there, the only thing that was there was the McDonald's, and it was a big dirt parking lot, and that gas station. And then at the old Marana, what I call the old Marana exit, was the Circle K, the other gas station, and that little grocery store, and that little.
Well, the Circle K wasn't even right there.
Well, maybe
Circle K was down the street.
See, that's the growth, and now you wouldn't recognize it.
That was a Chevron where the Circle K is now. That was a Chevron, and where the Chevron is currently was another branded gas station.
And they rechanged the grocery store.
That's been changed multiple times.
A couple of times. That
the pizza place was a burger shop, and I remember when this Ina was a dirt road.
Yeah.
You know, there was an Abco here where the right there across the street from Target.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest of
And that was a Kmart because I used to deliver to that Kmart.
Yeah,
Back in
Kmart.
like
Kmart, yeah.
91,
Remember that.
92. Remember that?
I do.
And the growth that's happened, and it's good growth. This is positive growth. These are beautiful homes that are being built out here in the desert.
Well,
And
when
they're
you
not- and we're
start
not
talking
knocking
about
down
when
the
you start
swirls.
talking about growth, and I think we're going to get to it when we
Yeah, let's get that keyed up there, Tony. The
But-
responsible growth slide.
responsible growth slide. See if I can read it from here.
If not, I got you. I've got it pulled
We
up.
got a youngster in the house that his eyesight's still.
Oh, is it pretty
Because
good?
we're talking about good growth, but we're going to talk about responsible growth. And the stuff we're sharing is from the Marana for the People.
Yes.
that
Okay.
is, so
the candidates, the opposition candidates, have finally come out with their platform.
Thankfully, it
Yeah,
had been a
because
while.
their platform prior to last week was that everybody's corrupt. I mean, they would, you know, how could a farmer be a mayor and do a good job and everybody's corrupt? I mean, that was their platform, to just beat us down.
Let's go to something while they're loading that. So okay, it's up. All right. I was watching you at a forum. It's the first one I've went and
Thank
sat.
you, David.
Yeah, and we were talking about growth and everything, but it was really interesting to hear those other candidates say that you were right and that they agreed with you on a lot of the topics, right? But then they would kind of come at you in a pretty terrible way.
Yeah.
Right. They would jump back to the incompetence thing or whatever it was. First off, my first question is like, how do you just take that and just keep going? Because you didn't address it at all, right? It was like they kept trying and
Well,
trying.
he's over 50. He can handle that.
Well,
Deadlift
you know,
155.
there's a lot more important things to talk about than just defending myself.
Right.
You know, I want to talk about the things that are important to the residents of Marana. I don't need to defend myself. I'm fully. I like me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fully happy with myself. You know, I've spent my entire career being honest in my business dealings. I know that about myself. My kids know that. My family knows that.
People that care
The
about
people
you
that
and
care
know you
about me.
know
You
that.
guys know that.
Yeah.
You guys have done. I've known you guys for a long time. You guys know that about me. You know, so why do I need to defend myself for that? What I need to do, and what I feel like is important, is to let people know my message about the town of Marana. You know, and what an amazing place it is, and how fantastic it is.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, if I get 30 seconds, why am I going to spend my time defending
Yeah.
myself?
It's just great leadership, man, in my opinion.
Well,
like,
thank
honestly,
you. I appreciate that.
Well,
Because
you've
you
already
had
made
somebody walk up to you and go, hey, I love the stuff you're doing on social media.
Yeah.
I love it.
And John, you've already made those decisions.
Well,
The decisions that you've made, you've already made them.
well, that's another thing.
You don't need to keep justifying them over and over, do you?
No, and that's a good point, David. If I might,
Yeah.
you know, I decided how I wanted to run my campaign. You know, 6 months ago, that I was going to run a certain kind of campaign, and it's been difficult to stick to that with everything that's been thrown at me. You know, but I've stuck to it. You know, I mean, you know, they're trying to throw these PACs in my lap. I don't have anything to do with these PACs. I'm running my campaign.
Same,
I'm running a mayor's campaign against, you know, an individual that's in the basement, essentially. And so I'm not going to change what I'm doing. You know, I'm just going to continue to, not going to, you know, call anybody dishonest or call them names, or I don't want to run a campaign like that. You know?
Yeah.
I will say, I am disappointed that I have yet, or probably won't get the opportunity to do a debate with, you know, the other mayor candidate. I think the residents of Marana deserve to see I think they would deserve to see that. You know?
Hey, how about going forward from here on out? We do that here.
All right.
We'll
on this
host it.
table. Yeah.
All right.
Moderate it and invite them in.
Yeah, I'd be happy
No,
to.
we'll host it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, let's jump into this stuff because this is interesting. The platform stuff that they're. I don't understand some of it, so
all right. Well, let's walk through it. What's
Okay,
the
so
first
first
one?
thing, responsible growth. We support smart, sustainable growth that benefits the people of Marana over corporations. We believe infrastructure and employment need to grow together for a stronger Marana. What does that mean? What I mean, are you guys doing that already?
I think it's just a tagline. I mean, I think it's just something that people go, oh, well, I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds good,
Created by AI data.
So essentially, it would mean that, like, if you while you're building the infrastructure for whatever's coming in, you're already employing people before you have any money through the door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to offer.
I mean,
nonsensical.
I got to be honest. I'm not sure. I really don't. I really, and I'm sure I'm going to get called an idiot for not understanding what they're saying. But,
I'm just looking at the math of it, right? It's just.
We believe infrastructure and employment need to grow together for a stronger Marana. I mean, who wouldn't believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I say I think that's just hey, let's throw that in there. Everybody's going to think,
But these aren't, we believe. Like, I can tell you all kinds of things I believe.
Right.
But what are we going to do?
How are they going to do that?
Well, what are we going to do?
Right.
Yeah, there's no feet to that.
You're right. What are they going to do?
I believe a lot of things.
I believe.
I tell people I believe in a
too.
higher power all the time, and not everybody digs that. You know what I mean? Or, I believe that at some point maybe my hair will grow back, but that's probably not a reality. So it's just.
So, we believe large housing developments need to be balanced with affordable housing and avoid encroaching on natural desert.
Says the people living in large housing developments, etc., that moved here.
Well, those are the most popular. I mean, it's undeniable. Those are the most popular developments, the ones that are built amongst the desert.
That's where everybody's living, isn't it?
That's where they want to be.
How many people live in that? Just guessing, percentage-wise, in Marana.
Well, if there's 65,000 people that live in Marana,
55,000 of them live in one of those communities.
I mean, there's 10,000 going to be, and it's getting almost done. There's 10,000 homes in Dove Mountain, and that's a beautiful, and those people came and chose that because it's.
How many homes in Gladden Farm?
Oh, maybe 2,500.
Yeah, they all came in the last 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, up and down Twin Peaks is very popular. Those homes that are built around Twin Peaks,
they're growing like crazy.
So that's where people want to live. I mean, and so, those people that have bought a home that is tucked into the desert, telling everybody else, hey, you can't do that. Man, that's
75% of them, which have came in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, but that's where people want to live.
Well, I moved in Oro Valley. There was big spots around me. Guess what? They got developed, and people were like losing their minds. And I'm like, well, any one of us bought that,
right, and
done whatever we want to keep it a natural preserve or whatever. But we didn't. So
here's an interesting one. We support reform for the regulation of construction of rental housing subdivisions that are exempt from the 100-year assured water supply. So the town of Marana does not allow that. That's a state law that people are getting around. So let me explain that. So what some of these, not Marana, but what some of these developers are doing is they're taking, say, 50 acres, and they're not subdividing that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not platting that. So it's a single assessor. It's owned by one person. It's not subdivided. And so that's how they're getting around the assured water supply, because the assured water supply only applies if you plat a piece of property, right? So if you get a plat on a piece of property, you have to go through the process to get 100 years of assured water supply. So they're working through a loophole. So those people are working through a loophole
at the state level.
At the state level, and they will never be able to sell individual homes ever, because they didn't plat it. They didn't subdivide it and plat that property. And so the town of Marana has not allowed that to happen. So we do have some rental communities here in Marana, but they're all platted. And because they're platted, they had to go through the process. And so essentially this one doesn't apply to Marana. But if you don't know that, it sounds amazing. Oh, yeah,
Sexy.
these guys are going to take care of that. I mean, that's ridiculous because that's not happening in Marana.
This one, I love this one, John. We will support local housing developers and ensure any new house built in Marana is thoroughly inspected and meets strict codes.
That's what we do. I think this, and I'm just guessing, but I think this one would be directed at a particular builder. So maybe they're having problems with a particular builder.
Specific.
So they show up in these neighborhoods, knock doors in a neighborhood.
7,000 of them.
Right. That's what I've heard. So they knock doors in these neighborhoods of a particular builder, and the homeowners start complaining about the builder, and then they throw it on the back of the town of Marana. Well, the town of Marana is doing their inspections. It's just the builder is not taking care of their problems, whether it be, follow-up warranties or showing up and doing this stuff. So, this is another one that just sounds more like a tagline. That's truly not happening. But let's go back to the affordable housing.
What does that mean?
I don't know how you do that.
Area.
The state's been struggling with this affordable housing issue for years, and they continually are trying to throw it on the backs of local government by forcing local government to either, number one, reduce their fees. Well, our fees are just based on our costs. They're not we just didn't throw those numbers in there. They're based on actual costs. And so if we were to reduce our fees, somebody has to pay for that, and that would be residents that live there currently.
The residents living here currently would have to pay for the government subsidizing other houses to be built. So that people don't have to chip into that, but they reap the benefit of it.
There's a better way.
So there's one more thing though. What they're trying to do is they're trying to let developers build any house they want. So they're trying to take away all the requirements that cities and towns have for, lot setbacks, how close you can be to another house, the style of house. So essentially what you would have is you'd have neighborhoods that were just absolutely full of the cheapest thing that you could build at as close as they could get it to the guy next to you.
Right.
And then they would start taking away, requirements for road standards. I mean, our requirements for road standards have evolved over the last 20 years so that we don't have to continually go in there and maintain those roads. And so, we now make them do a layer of concrete under the asphalt. We now ask for thicker asphalt. We're learning that, hey, if we can get an extra 10 years out of these roads in these neighborhoods, that's real money, and so when you start talking about affordable housing, what you really are talking about is cutting corners, and pushing off the bill down the road so that residents down the road have to figure out how to pay for it.
Hey, there's a much simpler solution to this, and I've thought about this a lot.
Okay.
Create better paying jobs.
That is the solution to...
That's how you solve this affordable housing problem. You don't dumb down the product. You actually lift the product up by providing better paying jobs so our kids, because that's who we're talking about, right?
Right.
So our kids can afford a decent house that the corners weren't cut on, roads were built to the new specs, right? Because what we're doing, the other thing, we're trying to bring everything down to that level when we should be lifting everything up.
That's where the city of Tucson is currently, right? Their roads
100%.
Their roads they have taken that money that should have went to their maintenance of a lot of things, parks, roads, and people are complaining about it loudly. They've taken that money and used it for other things.
They pissed it away. I'll say it out loud. In many cases, that's what it's happened.
And so now the bill to bring that up to the standards is so high they can't do it.
Yeah, they're caught in catch-22 at this point.
So what they're doing, and this is just completely my opinion, what they're doing is they're replacing that with, social agenda items to make everybody feel
I
better.
stand by my pissing it away statement.
Yeah. Let's jump to local jobs, the local job stuff.
All right.
We support the development and growth of small businesses in Marana, which employ local Marana residents and reinvest their profits in our town.
So, it's interesting. I had a conversation with one of the candidates about a data center the night of the planning and zoning hearing for about an hour outside of the municipal building, the Ed Honey Marana Municipal Building. And we had a conversation for about an hour, and, I was talking about the need of this for jobs. Like, we got to have this for jobs.
Good paying jobs.
Good paying jobs, and at the time wasn't getting any pushback on that portion of it. The pushback I got is, well, then this is the wrong company, and so this company, they don't have financial viability to do this. And I was like, well, then what's the problem?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, David?
Well, here's what I hear from talking to people in different chambers, especially in Southern Arizona. They've explained that having these bigger companies helps create the local opportunities, right? For instance, you have somebody that works at Raytheon, right? And they're making great money. They're an engineer. They're doing great things. They have a great salary. Stuff at home is taken care of. Wife goes, hey, I want to start this, this, and this. Okay, let's do that, right? There's an easier feeder into the local business economy when you have strong jobs too, right? It goes back to what Clint said. You have really strong job. It prevents the local opportunities, right? People can save their money from working those jobs to start that opportunity. Because how many people do you know that could just come out of nowhere and go, you know what, I'm just going to start this today, right? That story just right out of college, they weren't working anywhere. They just went for it. It doesn't work out very well because you get a couple of different things. You get to build a financial portfolio and stability for you to go and risk it all, essentially. And then you also have the experience component of it.
Well, real quick, because I think you're headed in a great direction. Real quick, how many businesses survived the first year?
The numbers are staggering that they
half. Less?
Probably less.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors for that.
Okay,
And I'll
so
go one step further.
On that same thought process, those startup businesses, and we know it's important to have those small businesses in your community who they can't afford to pay a household, what I call a home provider wage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Like when you
benefits and everything.
Benefits, that just doesn't happen, So anyway, let me finish my story about having this conversation with this candidate. The next morning there was
full clarification, this is someone right now running.
Yeah, so the next morning they were in bed doing a Instagram or a TikTok video, and they were talking about what they were going to do. What we need to do. And their idea was to bring in a Buc-ee's, I mean, that'll solve it.
You can go to the new one.
Go to the new one. That'll solve all of the employment problems in Marana. I think that's just an absolute lack of understanding. I mean, truck stops,
Tony,
fast food restaurants.
Do us a favor, or whoever's in here, Tony, look up the average wage of a person that works at Buc-ee's for us real quick.
In Arizona, it's
I think there was
$15,
another.
$17.
I think there was another video put out about
that's sad.
Bakeries. Having them work in bakeries, and I got to be honest, I don't pay much attention to what they're putting out. But I hear people. Hey, did you see that latest?
Well, let's talk about the economics of it, though, John. Again, here we are. We're not raising a bar.
No,
we're bringing an easy, low solution here. Bring in a Buc-ee's, right?
Yeah.
How much is the local economy going to benefit off of that as workers?
There will be some tax revenues.
But I'm talking as workers. We're talking about local jobs is what we're talking about right here, right?
Right.
As the key talking point here. How is that going to help folks afford housing?
It's not. It's absolutely not. But if you've got somebody that's working in chip manufacturing business, making $150,000 a year, and his wife or her husband, wants to go pick up some extra hours somewhere, then they go work at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Then they go work at the bakery.
Yeah. What you got, Tony?
Hey, John, you just specifically,
1950 to
There you go.
2105 per hour.
That's national.
$40,000 a year, $44,000 a year. That's not even the median income.
You
in
described
Marana.
my daughter and son-in-law right then. Works at a chip manufacturing company in Boise. He makes just what you said, stock benefits. They're trying to they're working on a bigger family,
Right.
but so she's not working. But you and I've had this conversation. This is the infrastructure, because Boise and Marana have a lot of things in
Right.
common, and that place is booming.
So your daughter has a little girl.
Yep.
And let's say she wanted to get out of the house. She wants to be a mom. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right now, she's mom.
There's no better job in this world than that, okay?
But in time.
No, let's say right now.
Yeah.
So here's a better one. My daughter is a school teacher, and she needs to get out of the house. And so she works part-time at the reading. She's a reading specialist at one of the local schools, and she works a few hours every day, but she's still a stay-at-home mom. She makes pennies.
Yeah.
But that's not the point.
No.
The point is she's just trying to get out of the house and keep her sanity, and do a good job as a mother.
Yes.
My other daughter, same thing. She works just to get out of the house. She loves what she does, but 3 boys drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And so, but those aren't, those are just, they're not breadwinning jobs, nor are they expected to be, right?
And that might contribute a little bit. But that's not why they're even doing it.
No, they're
In your
doing it
daughter's
because
cases, they're doing it because
they love
what they're doing, and they're giving back to their community, and they can do it because their husbands make enough money to do it.
Yes,
kind of the old school way of doing things.
Yeah. So, I think what we're looking at, and this is not just a problem for Marana. This is a problem for Tucson. So Tucson has 2-3 large employers.
Well, U of A, Raytheon. And
okay,
Caterpillar.
we have, but non-service.
Yeah.
What do we have? Non-service. Raytheon.
Yep. Caterpillar.
I mean, I guess
Caterpillar.
I don't know how many people work there. 400 or 500.
Are we missing anybody down there? That's pretty much it.
I don't. It's tough. We have a lot of construction companies, a lot of, so we
a lot of smaller ones though, for the most part. There's a few big ones. A lot of HVAC guys, which are killing. By the way, they're killing. Marana has twice the medium income as Tucson.
Does it really?
Yeah. Marana is the largest in all of southern Arizona. More than Oro Valley.
Really?
By a couple
Really?
$1,000 a family.
Wow.
The last number I saw was about 110,000 in Marana was the average, the medium family income.
Well, a lot of those folks though are jumping on the freeway.
100%,
They're driving 45 minutes all the way to Raytheon.
Or Casa Grande the other way.
Or Casa Grande, right? They're jumping on the freeway, driving really far.
Yeah.
And when they go to lunch, right? Where are they going to lunch?
Yeah. Well, they're not going to lunch here.
Right? Because we've heard the argument. There was even a task force that the town put together, the restaurant task force or whatever, right?
Oh, that's,
And they were going around trying to get these local operators to go and owners to go into Marana, to go into the Gladden Farms area and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's just not enough doors for that.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is they got to wait for some corporation or something to come in, close its doors, then move in afterwards. Because they're like, I'm paying $1 million just to get the door open.
Yeah. So we believe Marana ordinances should foster small business development and keep money in Marana to power our economy. So there again, we believe. I love small business. I own a
Who's
small
going to
business.
disagree with that statement?
Nobody's
right
going to
there?
disagree with that statement.
Yeah.
But we can't. You can't hardly give freebies away. Hey, I'm a small business. Oh, well, you don't have to get this permit. You don't have to get that. I mean,
That's nonsense.
We support expanding training and support to navigate licensing, permitting, and other administrative tasks associated with opening a small business. I think I just don't think that's something the town. We're not going to train somebody. We can't train somebody to open a small business.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the best that we can do is have somebody, and we've done this before, and we have all of our permitting clerks are amazing, right? Good people. They'll help you go through the process, but that's your business. That's not the town's business.
Right.
That's your business. But what we do, and you guys know this because you guys are big supporters, is we're a huge supporter of the Chamber of Commerce. And they are so willing to help. And not only that, but they have ambassadors there that will help people foster, their growth in their business creation, and so I think the town does do a fantastic job of fostering small business.
I do.
Let me say one before you.
Yeah.
Who's got the biggest chamber of commerce in all of Southern Arizona?
It's not even close.
Marana.
It's not even close.
And why is that? Because Marana is such a great place for a small business.
And really the role of government, Marana in this case, is to create a fair playing field. It's not to hold my hand or David's hand or John's hand as a small business leader and say, it's just to provide everybody the same opportunity. And what we're doing so often is we're almost deferring to someone else to make this happen for us. As a small business owner, I have a responsibility as well.
Yeah, you do.
To keep myself educated, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah.
All I need is the person on the other side of the table to be receptive to what I'm saying with an open mind. And
But it needs to be your hard work.
It's my hard work that's going to do it. I've had it happen in Marana where it's receptive, and I've had it happen in other parts of this community where they were not receptive.
And you still did it. You still got through it.
I still got through it because...
So let's do the last one. We support grant and loan programs that support local businesses, partner with universities to provide expertise and look for creative solutions. So that one's so bad, I don't even know how to comment on it.
I can't stand the word that. I just, that, whenever you throw that in here.
Like, I don't even know how do you, but besides that, I don't even know how to respond to that one.
Well, I think I just covered it, didn't I?
Yeah.
We don't need government choosing winners, or we just need a fair playing field. That's all we want.
Think about all the conflicts you bring with that, right? Hey, what's the determining factors of who's going to get the grants or the loans?
That's just right there. That's nepotism.
Yeah.
It's going to blow up in everybody's faces. We're going to pick winners and losers.
Yeah. Because you know who I see get involved in that a lot, which is awesome. I've seen small businesses get involved in that, right? Even credit unions. Hey, we're giving a grant out for a business startup for $5,000.
Well, it's also an easy way
That's a good way to lose $5,000.
The odds are against
to pick we give it to minorities or who's getting grants these days? I'm not going to go get a grant.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to give me a grant.
No.
No matter what. I'm not getting one. Let's just say that.
Well, I am Hispanic, so
wrap it up.
You said 10:15. I'm gonna
let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
He's like a good Baptist minister. When he says he's closing, he means he's thinking
Joe Rogan
about
said, "Keep going. Make it 3
Keep
hours."
Marana special. 100% agree with that statement.
How are we going to do it?
You guys agree with that?
How are we going to do it, John?
Let's go.
We support investing in things that make Marana great. Absolutely, I have done that. The whole time I've been involved with Marana.
That's bold to put that on your campaign
So we
sign.
support more outreach to attract tourists to our gorgeous desert. I think Marana has one of the best tourism departments in all of Southern Arizona. We are killing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that the downtown that they are so opposed to is being paid for by tourist dollars. Our portion is being paid for by tourist dollars.
Growth. Finances growth. I've heard somebody say that.
Anyway, that one is just, We support expanding the loop to promote cycling and reestablishing the Tour of Tucson Mountains cycling event. So, we just spent almost $3 million with getting the loop to extend all the way to Gladden Farms. We worked for years with Cal Portland because we had to cross their haul truck road. I'm sure you can imagine how big of a project that was. Those haul trucks are massive, right? And so here we are trying to figure out how we're going to get cyclists safely, through that haul truck area, and we did it. So I don't think there's, besides Mr. Huckleberry himself, I don't think there's been a entity like the town of Marana that has supported the loop in the way we have.
Well, the Tucson Mountain Cycling event, that's interesting on what because the Marana's not in a lot of the Tucson Mountain jurisdiction.
No.
That's a lot of
County.
Tucson on the west side. So that part is.
And we have.
So is Marana going to pay for that? Is that what
Yes.
Is that Jen Allen at work there? I mean,
know.
that's
Maybe.
interesting there.
Hey guys,
We do support the cycling. We support it
100%.
in a big way.
Yeah, I do it. I use the loop all the time.
Yeah.
I got
John?
a trailer for my kids.
It's awesome.
we're coming to a hard cutoff here.
Oh, do we have a hard cutoff?
10:30.
Because I was just getting started. Let me talk about
So you got 90 seconds. Wrap this thing up, Mayor.
You know what? Let me wrap this up by saying that, myself, our council members, we're not doing this to personally, enrich ourselves. And no matter what they say, we're not doing this to line our pockets. We're doing this because we all love Marana. We love Marana because we've all lived here. We've grown up here. Our kids live here. Our grandkids live here. For them to say that we're doing this to line our pockets and
It's shameful.
Backroom deals, the only back room I can think of is the mayor's conference room, and everybody's, I welcome a lot of people there, and so there's no backroom deals going on at the town of Marana. Everything is done in a manner that people would be proud of. People would expect a local government to do, and that's how it's being done. And so I think it's important that people really look at the true reasons why these people are running. Let's just say it is the detention facility and a data center that's already zoned. They're not stopping that unless they win in court, and they've lost once already, and so, those two singular items. Other than that, they know nothing about Marana. And what they've put out, what we were just kind of going through and goofing on a little bit, to be honest with you, what they've put out tells you they know nothing about Marana.
They know nothing about leading as well. I mean, I have a great deal of respect because I've been close to you. I've been close to Ed, Patty, Roxanne, John for a long time. I see you guys. Your integrity is above reproach.
Oh,
I know for a fact there's no briefcases full of money under anybody's bed.
No.
I know for
Still
a
haven't
fact.
seen the proof of anything yet.
No,
That's what I'm waiting on.
I got into a text, with their campaign manager, and he was upset at some of the PAC stuff that was going around. I told him, well, I don't have anything to do with the PAC stuff. And then I asked him about the things that he was saying, and he said, oh, we're not saying anything that's not true. And I said, well, great, send me the evidence because I'd really like to see it. Otherwise you guys ought to quit spouting that out there. It's funny that you have to RSVP to go to one of their events. You can't just go in,
And they're
walk
going to
in
fact
the door.
check you at the door. They're going to check who
you
you
have
are
to
at the door.
RSVP to a Marana town hall.
Yeah. You have to RSVP to go see what they're quote. Now they're saying are going to be the new council members. You know why? They don't want questions.
Yeah.
They don't want. They want to make sure that whoever goes in
They're
there is a
controlling every
card-carrying socialist.
He said it.
He said it.
Did I say that?
He said it out loud, and we got it on camera. Hey,
Yeah.
guys, we got to cut it short. John, thank you so much.
You bet.
Thanks
for
for coming
being
in.
here. You're leaving me hanging.
He's on his watch.
Oh, Sorry.
David, thank you as usual. John, thank you for joining us.
Tony, good job.
Stick around. We'll have more from these gentlemen real soon. Hope you guys have a great week. And remember, be nice to each other. It's just not